crouch jumping is a really cool mechanic in FPS games, and Halo was one of those games that benefited from it. In Halo Combat Evolved, the best way to demonstrate this is with these Covenant weapon pod things. Normally, these are too high to jump on top of. However, by crouching after pressing the jump button, Master Chief will raise his legs rather than lower his torso and is able to successfully land on top of the container. It is a small and rather insignificant mechanic, but it can be used to reposition in ways that are faster and more efficient. Fast forward to Halo Infinite, where crouch jumping still works the same as it did back in 2001. However, of course, games have evolved since then, and now crouch jumping has a competitor in the reaching slightly new heights world. Vaulting, or clambering as it's called in Halo, has become the go-to way in reaching ledges that are just out of reach of a standard jump. It is much easier to understand for new players and encourages everyone to better traverse the map. However, and I hate to be a boomer about this, but crouch jumping is just better in pretty much every single way. For example, this is the map Bazaar in Halo Infinite. In the middle of the map, there is an elevated position with a power weapon spawn and a set of stairs on each side. However, there are two boxes, we'll call them, in front. These two boxes show how much better crouch jumping is than clambering. The box on the left can't be crouch jumped onto from the ground, or at least I couldn't do it. The box on the right can be jumped on fairly easily with a crouch jump, but not a regular jump. Once on top, both positions can pretty easily crouch jump up to the next ledge. So the first advantage of crouch jumping is speed. The clambering animation adds an extra half a second to each jump made. That may not sound significant, because it really isn't, but where this does come into play is stuff like time to fire. Let's say, for the sake of argument, there was an enemy right here, and I wanted to jump up to challenge them. If I were to clamber up this wall, the clamber animation would take over half a second before I could fire my weapon. In that time, when I'm locked into a clambering animation, the enemy could have already fired their sidekick pistol 5 times. If they had an AR, that's about 10 bullets, or 6 from a commando, or a full burst and a half from a BR. While half a second is nothing in terms of pure map traversal, it does hamper your ability to gain high ground during a fight. If I were to crouch jump in this situation, I can fire as soon as my crosshair clears the ledge, putting my opponent and I on an even playing field where the player with the better aim will come out on top. And my money's on them, since despite my over 20 years of experience playing Halo, I still managed to suck at it. Here's another scenario. Someone is coming out of double doors to challenge me mid-map, as I want to get up to that elevated position and grab the power weapon there. If I were to clamber this jump, I would most likely die trying, as not only would I be slower to get up there, I would also be unable to return fire that may cause the other player to be descoped or panic. If I implement crouch jumping into this scenario, we can see 2 key ways that it is superior to clamber. First off, I can be facing any direction that I want when I crouch jump. I can face forwards, backwards, or to either side and get a clear view of the battlefield as I make jumps to gain the high ground. In addition, I can also do any other action I have at my disposal. Situation get too hairy, I can grapple out. Someone shoot a rocket or throw a grenade at me, I can repulse it away. I have someone trying to shoot at me, I can fire back. Where a clamber would be slower and leave me open to being attacked for free, a crouch jump allows me to fire back and to get the power weapon faster. It really isn't debatable that crouch jumping is better in this type of situation. The sad part about crouch jumping in Halo Infinite is that not every ledge can be reached by this method. There has already been an example in this video. That last scenario I ran through would be impossible if the opponent and I were on separate sides of the map, as the left side box cannot be accessed with a crouch jump. This makes the right side of the map more favorable, even though this is just a slight advantage. There is also this set of jumps on either side of the map. I love this area, as it allows players to easily gain high ground, but it unfortunately doesn't allow for much crouch jumping. The only ledge where this mechanic becomes viable is the last one, and only if you sprint to reach it, which more often than not makes you slide as soon as you land, which slows you down about as much as a clamber would anyway. And it also forces you to look in the direction that you're sprinting, so it kind of defeats the point. If this area of the map was more crouch jump friendly, I feel we would see a lot more exciting plays around this area of the map. Crouch jumping may be a niche mechanic nowadays, but it can be an exciting skill to keep in your back pocket for when the situation arises. I just wish the game was designed more to accommodate it, rather than just adding in clamber, which is less interesting. In my perfect Halo Infinite, every ledge would be crouch jumped. But then again, I guess that's just my boomer mindset.